Welcome, D. Carter. Jamie? Frank, what's up? Give me the perpetual war on TV and turn the news into entertaining sound bites easy on the ears and snapping. Hey, Lynn? Keep me chemically happy as long as I can't see it. It isn't really happening. As long as I can't see it and you tell me it's not my problem, I'll ignore them. Get outraged from a distance when instructed, but do nothing. Just keep walking. Just keep working. What's up, Electra? Miracle Hearts, Jinx, hello. What's going on, D? Keep me blinded, take my rights, hold me down, restrict my thoughts and control my movements. I like to be watched, it makes me feel a safe little consumer. Deprive my senses, a thin line between life and existence. I want to be average, no longer class, a liberal misfit. Just give me the one world government, which-based war upon the different. Hey, Michelle. How you doing? Oh, most definitely, D. Most definitely. Keep me constricted, physically and mentally restricted. Leave me fear of open spaces. Leave me blind to all your cages. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're right, but I don't care. I don't trust you. I don't know you, but I know that fighting is to spare. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're good or well intended. You don't know me, but that doesn't change the fact that you control me. What is up, everybody? You guys ready to get this going? I found an interesting one. Pennsylvania man Mauricio Guerrero, 19. You guys are going to trip on this one. Now, you guys don't have to call in if you don't want to. But if you want to, you can.
Hey, what's going on, Tracy? What's up, Vertigo? Glenjamin. Anybody wants to call in? There is a link. Hello, Michelle, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
You're a little bit low on my end. Let's hear what they say. Can you guys hear Michelle? What's going on?
Hey, I haven't been around in a live for a while, so I thought I'd call in.
How was your trip?
What trip? Where did I go? Am I on it now?
Literally. What's on your mind?
Well, of course, it's Delphi, and I don't want to rehash Delphi when this is a true crime call-in show, but
No, that's like
like
the
I said,
most intense, insane, strange true crime story I've ever heard of.
and of course, the Fig Solves Hannah Shakespeare doco, which I watched, and I've been watching the coverage of it from all the YouTubers, and it just was pretty amazing. So, of course, that's what's on my mind at the moment, and a particular part of it. Um, but yeah, so I've been delving into other crimes, looking at uh, other creators as well. Like, have you ever seen, or maybe your listeners have seen Emma Kenny? She's British.
Sorry. Emma Kidding?
Kenny, K
Kenny?
E
No.
N N Y.
No, I haven't heard of it. I'm sorry.
I She has been on some British crime documentaries, but she has a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
She's pretty good, and she covers a lot of cases, many, many cases. So I watch her a lot. I'd recommend her.
Oh, it's a YouTube
We're
channel.
watching her. Yeah, she does have
Oh,
a
okay.
YouTube channel.
Yeah,
That's where,
I'll definitely check it out.
yeah,
Well,
YouTube's
I'll
where
have
it's
to
at.
look at that one.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, hey
what's up,
Vertigo,
Vertigo? How you doing?
Hey
good to see you
guys,
there, mate.
hi. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm in the midst of Changi Airport, so I'm trying to sort of have a talk and listen and do all this sort of stuff. In the midst of Singapore.
Hey, you sound good. What are you doing out there?
I just
What are you,
spent
like a
2 weeks.
secret agent or what?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
they
yeah.
make you wear a shirt at the airport, mate.
Yeah, no shirt, no
Hey,
service, buddy.
no. I spent 2 weeks hiking in Thailand with my son.
Yeah, that was awesome. How'd that go?
Lovely.
Yeah, yeah, man. Magic. And I got some new things done.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
A
a nice
few new
piece.
tattoos. Few
That's
new
sweet.
tattoos. Yeah, man. Yeah, so
I just knew
had a great
I
time.
just knew that we were gonna see something under there.
There had to be a fat nipple hanging out somewhere.
Hmm.
So hey, Ben Sleuth,
Uh,
I've been off grid for 2 weeks, man. So it's good to actually catch back up and see what everything's happening.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Michelle, what
Hey,
were you saying? You were I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to say welcome you in Vertigo, but I
oh
think
yeah, shit.
Michelle was in the middle
Sorry,
of something.
Michelle.
no, that's okay. I will wrap it on, so it's okay.
Yeah. No, I still remember. I still remember the first day you called in, Michelle. And fuck this, fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
an Australian. We swear.
Well, we do swear. We do swear.
Sleuth, you've got a big following down under.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh shit, yeah,
yeah,
man.
Nice.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's because you're so fucking laid back, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty
some of
chill.
the American,
You'd love,
yeah,
you'd love Thailand, Sleuth.
I'm cool where I'm at, bro.
No, you'd love Thailand. Every second corner is a dope dispensary.
I feel
True.
change.
Yeah.
Every second shop is a dope dispensary.
Nice.
Free weed. You walk in, you can buy a joint. You can smoke
How
them
was it?
anywhere. Some of it. Yeah, I had one day. It was about 2:00 in the afternoon. I was by the pool. I had 2 beers, and then my mate bought me a joint. I had the joint, and then the security woke me up at 11:00. I'd crashed. I was gone.
How's their local beer?
The local beer is so cheap, man. You can walk into 7-Eleven and buy it, which is unusual compared to Australia. We can't do that at home.
Like they just have it on tap? Do they have it on tap?
No, man, it's just like large bottles. You can walk straight in, just buy large bottles, walk around the street drinking. It's just such a free place. It's a pretty groovy place, man. Probably not somewhere you'd want to take the family, but it's a groovy place. We hiked up into the mountains. We did like a 20-mile walk, 10 miles uphill and then 10 miles downhill of this massive mountain to swim and bathe with elephants, and it was a free-range elephant place. It was just absolutely amazing. Man.
That sounds crazy.
That's awesome. Were they like just wild, like rescued elephants?
Yeah, rescued elephants, but they were free-range.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And they showed us photos when they'd rescued them and how thin they were, and you should see how chubby they are now. They're pretty bloody healthy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just really, really, really magic. But I noticed Keegan's finally got a sentencing date, the 18th of May. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was watching on Court TV, I think yesterday.
Yeah. I've been off grid, so I sort of really haven't seen much stuff, and so and I was listening to your little short this morning about
the Delphi live stream.
Yeah. Whether you think it was like a lone operator or a conspiracy, and I'm sort of leaning to more than one person, to be honest. I think those girls were. I seriously and honestly do think those girls were, or Libby actually. Libby was groomed, and there was more than one person involved. Because I think for someone to do that sort of a thrill kill, they'd make a lot more mistakes and would have possibly been caught a lot easier or been identified a lot earlier.
Well, every path I go down leads to that whole Vegas thing. Like, I really wonder how serious that whole trip was, because if so, that makes it much more of a darker story.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I'm with you on that one. I really am with you on that one. No, you're sorry, Michelle. You go.
That's okay. Since I saw that fucking video, the young kid, is his name Max? He was in the dark with that interviewer Hannah, and he was talking about the messages that Libby was trying to get help with. The 19-year-old man harassing her and 48-year-old man. What the fuck? That just blew my mind.
I was confused. I didn't know if they were the same people. I don't know if it was two separate people. Was it Anthony Schatz that was harassing her? Was Max confused? Was he confused? Maybe there was two separate people.
The thing that really leads me to the point that I think that it was more than one person is the fact that KK's charges somehow disappeared from serious like class 1 like online grooming offenses to sort of class 4 and class 5. And so like and even though they're saying, oh, no deals were made, that doesn't happen unless there's a reason for it.
Well, if we learn anything from what we've seen so far, it's like they got to wrap up that case before they do anything. So if we're gonna see anything, it'll be right after that. If he's got any involvement, I think at all, it'll be once that's all wrapped up. I guess.
I think I think there used to be in the 70s in Australia. There was a loose group of men called the family who liked young boys, who they murdered and did all sorts of disgusting things to, and they were a loose group of pedophiles. And to me, this has sort of got that sort of feel to it, that vibe. You know what I mean? It's more than one person.
Yeah,
The way that I see it.
My gut tells me this was an idea that was kind of hatched in a room with a group of really bad people.
Yeah.
Organized.
Maybe not even in a room. Maybe just in a bloody encrypted chat online.
Yeah, maybe a chat room. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And those online spaces would have tentacles in real life spaces.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I think, in my opinion, I think that this is a much more organized, much more personal. I don't think this is something that was hatched in some chat room. I think that they know them personally. I think for some reason they targeted them directly. But I think the personal connection was attempted through this whole catfish, and this person took it too far, you know?
Yeah, I think so. With the whole, the sleepover, Libby's friend, rumors about connections between the girls being friends, the relationship, the rumors about being harassed via the text messages. Like she was annoying
Vegas
him,
again.
so he blocked her.
It goes back to Vegas. Everything goes back to Vegas.
Do you think I hate to say it, but do you think Abigail was collateral damage?
Well, they made some comments early on, like, hey, they stuck together and things like that. I don't think that had anything to do with during the crime. I think it was like she was dragging her out onto the bridge, and she was scared, and she was kind of saying, hey, well, I'm going to stick with you, even though they knew that she was afraid to cross that bridge.
But in the sense, is like Libby was the target and Abigail was sort of just the.
I don't know. I mean, it really does seem that way. It really could. That could be the case, but like I said, between the 3rd and the 12th, with this parent grooming time frame, who knows? Maybe you can reverse the girls. Maybe it was really Abby who was targeted. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that yes, I would think that if Libby was the primary target, but if not, if it was targeted and maybe it was Abby who was the target. I mean, she lived really near Rick Allen, right? Didn't she live near him? And have to walk past his house to get to school? Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if she walked. I don't know.
I've heard something like that, Michelle. I've heard something like that. But I think it was... I've heard something like that. There was a closeness, a familiarity. Let's just say, use the word familiarity.
Yeah, and that he may have seen her. And, I don't want to creep anybody out. This may trigger people. I don't know. But, pedophiles, Abby is the younger looking of the two and the actual younger of the two, more little girlish, So, to be very gross about
physically and mentally.
Yeah, and it's just
the more innocent looking of the two.
Yeah, and Libby is more of a sassy older teenager, more protective and streetwise-ish. That's the image I get through the media and YouTube and the stories I hear about the girls, right?
That kind of explains why they're not all dressed up. I remember hearing that a lot. Well, they weren't all dressed up like they were going to go meet some boy. Well, that's how they roll.
Yeah, and so that, she could have been a target, and that leans more towards, well, perhaps it was more of a random thing, or just a spur of the moment of the day type of thing, and not organized. But I lean more towards Libby's the target, and it's fucking organized motherfucking pedo ring, you know.
Yeah, and I think they just went out fishing online. They had a plan already, and they just needed their people to play the role of whatever fantasy or whatever.
You guys just please excuse me for a second.
You got it. They just needed somebody that they could get across that bridge and into where their trap was set.
And you know, that's fucking terrifying, Sleuth, eh? Like, that's so fucking elaborate and fucking coordinated and evil. That fucking terrifies me.
Premeditated,
it's like that,
for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's that like that toy box killer and his fucking cronies. And it was so premeditated, and, you know, even his fucking daughter was in on that shit, man. And how they targeted women and what they did. It was this whole fucking evil plan, man. It's like a villain in a movie. I don't understand.
Is this the one you're talking about right here, the toy box killer?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
David Parker Ray.
Disgusting. Yeah. What a fuck.
See if they got any videos on him. Oh, here's a quick little one. When the ad goes, I'll put it on. What's going on with this guy?
Huh?
Oh, that's not a video. I'm sorry. Let me read this article. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Here's the video. It popped up. It was like loading really slow. Here, let's take a listen.
You always bring a back.
Damn, I got like 1 million ads on here.
Hill, who also went by the name of Cynthia Jaramillo, was a 22-year-old prostitute working on Central Avenue in downtown Albuquerque. It is a main thoroughfare. Cynthia Vigil, who also went by the name of Cynthia Jaramillo, was a 22-year-old prostitute working on Central Avenue in downtown Albuquerque. It is a main thoroughfare and still is today. That's where the restaurants were and the bars and the nightlife, where there was a large prostitution problem.
A woman approaches Cynthia on Central Avenue and invites her into an RV. Inside the vehicle, a man who claims to be a police officer handcuffs her.
Whoa.
It's fucked.
They're like working together?
The woman, I think it was even his daughter, maybe not all the time, but at some stage. Oh, it's
That's
too
crazy.
fucking creepy. It's
What's up,
just
cheeks? Let's see here. I wonder if that's the real little creepy little trailer.
But something feels off.
She quickly realized he wasn't a police officer.
Instead of driving...
That's the ruse, huh?
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, don't eat the phone there. Airport food's pretty good out here in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, I recommend it. It's Michelin star stuff. No, I met a big South African rugby union player, and he's having a couple of beers and he's having a pizza for breakfast.
Oh, sorry, I was reading this statement. I didn't catch that. You're about to have.
Oh
some
no. So I've met a big South African rugby player.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's having a couple of beers and a pizza for breakfast.
Damn.
All right.
It's
Breakfast of champions.
Wait, is it thin crust? Is it a thin crust?
The one that I'm watching? I don't do the channel. No, I'm just with a friend of mine, Sleuth Intuition.
Tell him shout
it's
out.
Called Sleuth Intuition.
What's his name?
Sleuth Sleuth. Sleuth.
Oh, sleuth.
Intuition. Yeah. Oh no! People in the airport are asking me what I'm doing.
Yeah, just
random strangers.
Yeah, what's it? Ask him what his name is.
I don't know, South African. Just another South African.
I demand your name.
What was your name, man?
Fucking Jesus Christ.
No. Jason?
Jason.
That's not nice.
Jason. Right. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, tell him I said, how you doing, Jason?
Hang on a second, man.
How are you doing? Jason Warburton, how are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Oh, very good. You need to come and visit us. We have some very interesting crime stories.
Well, what? Tell me one. Tell me one that comes to mind, because that's what we're doing. We're calling in and we're talking about true crime stories. You got one?
All right. So we have one recently where there was a gentleman who escaped prison for over a year, and his girlfriend, who was a celebrity doctor, she put a body in the cell, and to replace his body, and they set the cell alight, and they thought he was dead, but he actually escaped, and he moved out.
Oh, wow.
Very sneaky. That's the oldest book in the book.
I hear the background there. So, no, it is quite wild. So go and have a look at crime in South Africa, and you'll be quite surprised.
Thank you, Jason.
Cheers, man. There you go, brother.
That was a good one.
That's
yeah.
That was an interesting
I know, because I grabbed the beer and I said, "Oh, listen, guys, I've just got to go and do a call for a minute or two because I've been off grid for 2 weeks. So I want to go and catch up." And they said, "What about?" I said, "Oh, talk about true crime." They said, "Oh shit, man, you got to talk about South Africa. You got to talk about Cape Town. Some of the stuff that goes on there is insane." So there you go.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Cape Town?
Yeah, that's good.
Cape Town's it's a town. It's a town in South Africa. Oh, here we go. What's his name? Bester?
Bester.
What was his first name? Tabo? Like T-A-I-B-O?
T-H.
T-H?
Yep.
T-H-A-B-O B-E-S-T-E-R is the name of the person involved in the escape.
So Google it and you will see.
Tabo Bester.
All right, let's take a look here.
Yeah, they're straight onto it, bro. Did you know me, man? I can't help myself. I talk about true crime with everyone, no matter where I go.
Okay, yeah. T-H-A-B-O space Bester.
Yeah, B-E-S-T-E-R.
Found it. Let's take a look.
And sorry for anyone in chat. I can't see chat. I'm on my mobile.
Authorities in that country. That was alongside his accomplice, romantic partner, Dr. Nandipa. Well, a high-level South African delegation, we're told, will travel to Tanzania today in the wake of Thabo Bester being apprehended by authorities in that country. That was alongside his accomplice, romantic partner, Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, and a Mozambican national who apparently helped the two of them cross borders from South Africa when they fled the country. Now, as Ground Up, that news publication covered the story from his prison escape to his possible whereabouts after that escape. Several women have also taken to social media to share.
You know, they're talking about
of Vesta.
There we go.
One woman managed to escape unharmed and has documented her reaction on social media as that story unfolded, and she's documented
it is quite a story.
The fact that he was, in fact, a free man. So let's shift focus this morning and do some analysis of, in fact,
what's the
story on Vesta's victims. We're joined this morning by psychologist Dr. Mashego joins us via our video line this morning. Dr. Mashego, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. One can imagine, right, that the toll that this must take.
So we're talking about Tabo now. Say hi, guys. Hello.
Hey, cheers. Here, hold on. Let me make. Here, hold on. Here, I can make that a little bit bigger. There you go.
Hey.
There, make it a little bit bigger for me.
Delicious.
Yeah, that does look yummy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah. 2 weeks off grid. I'm straight into an airport bar and talking true crime with people.
That's awesome. That's how it should be. Spread the word.
Singapore.
Oh, there you go.
It's about $25 Australian. Yeah?
So, are you guys following the story?
Well, they're not getting into the details, so I think I'm going to find a different. I think I'm going to find a different report on it.
Are you looking for different reports on it?
Yeah, this one's a little long-winded.
All right. Yeah, no, it's quite convoluted. So you need to look at all the different media outlets and see what you can gain from it. But it's definitely, Hollywood, Netflix worthy.
Is being described as an embarrassment by the Correctional Services Department. It goes further to say the high-profile incident undermines the state's authority. As such, it's taken the reins in running the facility immediately. This is in stark contrast to the escape that happened right under the noses nearly a year ago. Taking control, the department is hoping to restore order after investigations revealed serious breaches in security protocols. In the senior report,
what they were doing there is they smuggled the body in.
It's brilliant
to burn.
Wait, what happened? What was he saying? What was that, Jason?
He was just saying that they smuggled a body into the jail, a dead body into the jail to burn, to make it look like he. Yeah, and to make it look like it was his dead body.
You guys ever seen the movie Life?
Sleuth is like, this is the shit we like.
And
no,
by the way,
what I said was the movie Life. Have you seen the movie Life?
Life. Okay.
With Eddie Murphy.
So this was also with collusion with Group 4 Security. I don't know if you know G4S.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, actually, Group 4 Security would run a few of the private prisons in the US, as they run a few of the private prisons here in Australia as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, within corruption. Yeah.
So they were paid off to basically let this guy walk out in one of their uniforms.
Wow. All right, let's continue on. This is going to go on for about another minute or two, and then I want, if you don't mind, are you willing to explain it then?
No, I'm not going to explain it. So I'm a 60-year-old man. I'm not a YouTuber.
You already are a YouTuber. It's too late.
You already are, man. You're a legend already.
Can't go back. There's no turning back now, Jason. You're YouTube famous.
Once you go YouTube, you don't go back.
Yep.
Yeah,
you have 87 new fans.
Yeah, no, it is quite interesting, how it's all worked out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mal. I didn't know you were there.
All the people that are involved and the depth of the corruption. I think that is the most interesting thing about it.
Okay, hold that thought. We got a new caller. Mal, I think your mic might be a little low. Are you able to just turn it up a little bit?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. Sorry about that. How long were you there?
Not very long. I was just
great.
wanted to say hello. Just wanted to thank you because I know that you're coming on.
Welcome. What's on your mind?
I was just checking in what was going on. I wasn't really sure what we were talking about. But I just think that this Abby and Libby case, it's wilder by the moment just watching it.
Do you think it's possible that like a Richard Allen, him being in custody, and do you think he could be innocent?
I was just talking about this, like with my family, because we were just talking about this, and I was just.
Well, let's say with what we know.
Well, with what we know, like it's one of those cases where we're hoping the wrong person isn't going to jail.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
And it's sad because they've been talking to this person who has all this ego and all of this much, like, they're talking to someone who's all about power, and that's not what Richard Allen is showing. And they seem to be alluding to other people, and I just don't know who that is.
Yeah, he seems a little bit smarter than what people give him credit for.
Yeah, maybe. It's so interesting, though. It's like this person everyone's seen. Everyone has seen this man at the pharmacy because everyone comes to get their pills.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Like these all the little fast food restaurants are like kind of like encompass the CVS right there.
I know. Everyone goes there. When I was in Delphi, I went there I went there more times than I was there days.
Bill from True
Can I ask a question about that?
Went there.
Maybe not.
Can I ask a question about that? Have you two heard I've heard a few YouTubers say that it was a rumor that many of the locals in Delphi did know or very, very strongly suspect that bridge guy was Rick Allen, the CVS guy, and had tipped it in and just had to be quiet for years. Have you guys seen that? I mean, you are in the world more than I do. You actually investigate these things.
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
No, right, I mean, the people I know, it was really shocking, and they were like, I don't believe it's him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's smarter than people think, and if this is premeditated, why not? He obviously planned it well. He got away
why?
He was motivated by something. I just don't know what that is yet. I have a feeling it's money, and
I can see that. I mean,
they set a trap, and
for me to buy.
It is. And it could just be my mind trying to explain it, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It better be a damn good reason. I mean, what could be how? I mean, what the hell were you thinking?
Because otherwise it's a fucking damn good disguise. It's just like the simplest disguise, but it fooled everyone. It worked a treat, for fuck's sake. So, but now, I've heard you say it too, Sleuth, when I look at it now, it's fucking Rick Allen. I see him, man, even if I can't see his face.
I see how he's so close and he's in such an ideal place. He also would drive past the softball field every single day on the way to work. I can see how, and he's driving past the middle school every single day on his way to work. And so he has that proximity that's unique. He has that proximity that he understands that area, but it's very unique that no one, like, I just am fascinated that he has his first crime is a double homicide.
Yeah.
Well, this one's premeditated. Maybe he was expecting to get away with it. Maybe it's not his first time.
Yeah, maybe he's gotten away with it before.
Have you seen the movie Usual Suspects, where he kind of plays like he's like got a limp and he's like this pathetic person, and then as soon as he sees nobody's watching, he's like this mob boss, basically.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
Never know.
Never know.
Yeah, that's some fucking evil Bond villain level shit though, like some even like Joker-esque, you know, trying to be all fucking hidden in the shadows.
Yeah, was he
It's
recruited
really weird psychology
by somebody smarter, somebody more dangerous, and
Yeah,
he didn't know what he was doing?
I could see that.
Like, hey man, I'll give you 10 grand. All you got to do is this, this, and that. I'll take it from there.
Right? Who do you think that would be though? Who would have that motive to do that?
I can't figure that part out.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
I would love to see a picture of Richard Allen and like Keegan Kline in the same room together.
But what would Keegan Kline's motive be? Just like he's a creep? Like it's not
money.
I don't make that sense either.
He thought he was going to be a superstar.
Why would he be a superstar? What was he going to make out of that? Just think about it logically. If you were Keegan, like gotta have that rudimentary like lizard brain, like just you know.
Well, the thing about Keegan Kline is that nothing that he does is logical.
Well, I feel like maybe it's rudimentary. It's like low logic.
He literally escapes reality and goes into like the metaverse, you know, like the Matrix, plugs in as somebody completely different, right? And then begins to victimize them.
But he's probably insecure with who he is in real life. And that's why he tries this as an outlet, right?
Yeah, and I met a lot of street kids, and I don't know if he's considered a street kid. I don't know, but they think at some point in their life they got to pull off something big. Like when they get when they get the opportunity to make a lot of money, they're waiting for that chance. You know, all they need is that one chance.
Why? You know what?
His sexual immaturity comes out through what he was trying to do too.
You know, that's true, but do you think that he is like he could broker meetings between these young girls and the older men? I mean, how many times now the young guy Max and another one mentioned meeting older men? So they were catfishing as 19-year-old handsome guys with these young girls, and it got introduced, whoa, would you talk to my 48-year-old dad? Maybe Keegan was selling access to these children, brokerage fees. That's how he's making his money. Maybe he's meeting new contacts in Vegas or selling the product of this or whatever. I don't know. But
and it's hard to tie in Richard Allen because he doesn't seem to have much of an online presence. So it's hard to tie him in as like one of those CSAMer types.
But he could be, you know, he could just get on it. And if you were into that shit, you wouldn't want to have too much of an online presence because that means you're exposed.
I think he was more afraid of his wife, maybe like, hey, I don't want her to catch what I'm doing. That could be his motivation also. Like if let's say Vegas has nothing to do with anything and he just doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to bring shame to his family. And he might be willing to kill these two girls to prevent that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that he's grooming like those girls? Maybe that like usually that's what happens when you live in close proximity to someone.
That's the part I can't figure out. It's like you can't have them both at the same time. It's like, is he grooming them through Keegan, or is Keegan attempting to groom these girls and he's over here, you know, trying to groom them completely separate from that, you know, from what Keegan's trying to do?
Or maybe it was group account.
Yeah.
Something that Alex mentioned to me, Voorhees, he said it appeared that he might have been like opening up shop. He like it was like CSAM is like on sale today.
Exactly. That's why like when I saw it on the like web archives, I saw it was accessed from the UK. I don't have any reason to think that someone from the UK would be using that account.
But then you're tying it back in with Keegan Kline.
Well, it's Keegan Kline's Anthony Shots account. This is before.
Yeah. How is Anthony Shots tied with Richard Allen?
Well, we can see that there's other people who seem to be using the account from different places. Maybe that's a VPN, or it just seems like it might have been sold. Like the access to the account was sold. In my opinion, that's what I first perceived from it. I just looked into it on my own, but that's what I first perceived.
Do any of you guys buy into like this hitman theory?
Well, it depends how it would go about, like not like exactly a hitman.
It would be let's say Keegan Kline or something was afraid of getting busted. Remember he came back from Vegas and he was like, I'm effed.
But why would it be those girls? Like, you don't have to kill girls to keep them to shut up.
If they were threatening him, maybe, I don't know. It could be far-fetched. I'm just wondering what you guys think.
I'm curious too. I like the conversation because I don't know.
It's not worth it because how many other fucking scumbags in Indiana have been done for CSAM and they're not going around killing the girls.
Right.
They're in prison.
Some of them. Yeah,
some of them aren't in prison. But
and what about somebody who definitely is like, I'm not going to prison? And
that's true, but that's a different thing. He's on a different level than that. I don't know. I don't think there's a hitman unless some people say it was for revenge for the meth thing for her dad or whatever the fuck. I don't know that.
Yeah, they talked about that a little bit in the documentary, huh? They tried to bring up that. I wonder if that does play a role in anything. It could.
I haven't seen the documentary. I really need to.
No. So I don't know. I think it's CSAM. And,
it's like the roads all go back to the Anthony shots, right?
I think so.
Be on the autopsy if they were abused sexually.
What was that?
It would be on the autopsy if they were abused sexually.
Sexual assault, yeah.
Yeah, or if they had if they had evidence of it. I mean, it just I'm comparing it to the Floor Girls autopsy, and they would mention that.
And the law enforcement
if it was released
said there was none.
If it was released, so that's also something that's excluded. So we don't know that.
I think that was a good choice because this is a different kind of crime. Same with Evansdale. Like they didn't release that information either.
Right. But they also said signatures. That's always made me that's also piqued my interest because you don't release cause of death with signatures if you're interested in someone who's done this before.
Like an MO.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Someone who's done it in the same way. It's not it's like how they dispose of the body too. It's like how they cover up the crime. It's part of the psychology of what they're going through, whether they want to distance themselves from what they have just done or whether they have pride in it. And that's
shock value too.
React to the body or react to what they just did in terms
of what the hell? This guy pulls up, he doesn't even hesitate, gets out of his car and starts walking. He doesn't even hesitate, goes straight to the bridge. He's kind of looking around. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? Doesn't attack anybody. He could have attacked a girl that was all by herself right there at the north end of that bridge. But no, he's waiting. He's got his phone. And what is he? Who's he? If he's like a lone wolf, this isn't premeditated. And we know that
lone wolf, though, they've already said it's more than one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they say we believe others could be involved.
Well, we believe others are involved in this crime. That was a statement made by the prosecutor, and everyone was flabbergasted on November 22nd, I think.
I don't know. I have the statement here, I think.
That was the one thing that I really took away from that. It was it's still not done. And if you call the ISP, you will see that they still send you to that hotline for more information.
Oh, do they?
Mm-hmm. Right now.
Yeah, did McClellan write a letter? Him and Shane Evans signed it.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that the one you're talking about?
No, I know that they, during the press conference to release information, they said that we believe that one of the reasonings for not releasing information to the public was that we believe more than one person is responsible for the crime.
What do you think, Michelle?
Sorry, I zoned out. I was reading the comments. Can you repeat the question, teacher?
Yeah.
I don't
know. Classes in session.
Yeah.
On that note, break time. No, actually, let me find this. Well, we're kind of going over what McClellan said. Others might be involved. She's saying no. They said others are definitely involved.
Oh,
I definitely remember that from from at least one of the immediate media things, but also I was there that I was there that week, and I remember it was big news. There was more than one person.
We got a new caller. Let's go ahead and welcome this person in real quick.
Hey,
Sterling?
yeah, that's right, Sterling. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, everything's fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Welcome to the conversation.
Oh, great. Well, I wasn't really listening for very long. I just hit the link, and so I might need to listen before I jump in. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we're just talking true crime. If you have anything that you've been kind of keeping up with in the news, or an old story, cold case, maybe a personal story, anything you'd like to share, let us know.
Well, absolutely, but I really don't want to hijack the conversation just yet. So
sure.
if we could continue, I'll jump in where I see fit, if that's okay.
You got it.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right, Mel, sorry about that.
No, I was just saying, it was a real big, it seemed to be a real effect on everyone. And that was something that I took away from that, was as one of the big takeaways, was that there was someone else that they admit that they were looking for, whether they were dead or alive. But they just said more than one person being responsible for the crime at the press conference. That's what McClellan said.
And I wonder what that even means.
I have a question about that, because, in my mind, and maybe a lot of other people's minds, when I think of a killer like that, I think of a lone person, because it's kind of like a disgusting, creepy fucking, foul act that you do privately. It's all creepy and gross. And you don't often think of people doing it in front of something else. It's like wiping your bum or something, man. It's gross. You don't want others to see that. And I can't.
I mean, if you think about the ones who do it together, those are total creeps, but they're duo creeps. They're like two creeps together.
It's so fat. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Michelle?
true. It's like a
Michelle?
circle jerk or something. Yeah. Sorry.
Hey,
yeah.
sorry for the change of subject at the moment, but have you ever spoken about that poor ambulance officer in Sydney that was stabbed to death outside McDonald's or whatever it was?
No, the recent one. No, I haven't. I've been thinking about the woman they were looking for in the dump that they couldn't find, and I was thinking about that.
Yeah, and her husband's all full of tears and all full of tears and sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the 6-year-old who was done by her kid and put in the car and shit, and then
it seems a bit suspect, doesn't it?
Yeah. Then there was another one up here where they found a body hidden behind a wall, a cleaning crew went in and found a body. I have to research more about that one. It was pretty interesting, but they don't know who that was.
I was about to have a laugh then and think, fuck, it must have been any cleaning crew that I've ever employed, because they never work that fucking hard.
Yeah, but it was behind this hidden space in a wall, and I got to check that out. And that was just up the road here in Brisbane. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
No, but I've been really concerned about that young ambulance man.
I know. That's really awful.
What was it? He was he had an hour left on his shift, newly married, and just went to get some takeaway food, and some tweaker stabbed him to death.
I know.
Oh, wow.
It's just terrible. Yeah. I mean, all those emergency workers have to deal with so much shit. A lot of it's
man,
drugs.
that first responders, and like the ambos, like man, the ambos deserve all the respect in the world.
Yeah. I'm always struck. There's always signs up everywhere saying our workers deserve to be treated with respect. Please don't abuse our staff and all this stuff. It's like everywhere you go. It's like who's still this fucking abusing everybody, man?
But the only problem with that, Michelle, is that tweakers don't fucking read, do they?
Oh dear.
One of the problems that I had with Richard Allen as a suspect, which I'm not saying he did it or he didn't, certainly not saying he didn't. I would say that just to put my cards on the table, I'm not quite convinced that he did. I guess I'm waiting to see what else comes out. But based off of the PCA, I'm not quite convinced that he did it. And one of the things that I struggle with is his motives, his motivation, because by all accounts and purposes, this is a person who had a pretty clean record. He wasn't. I don't think
he's 100% guilty, and I don't think he's 100% innocent.
If I could just finish the thought, though, what strikes me is that I hear a lot of people saying that I might be sexually motivated. However, the crime scene, we haven't heard anything like that. And also, like, if it were, what strikes me is that you would expect to see like some inappropriate material found at his house, right? Like on his computer or something like that, which we haven't heard, and maybe they did. And you might say, well, hey, Sterling, look, he all roads, like you said, Sleuth, I think I heard you say it right when I came on, that all roads lead back to the Kleins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you might say,
well, no, I won't say the Kleins. I'll say the Anthony Shots profile.
Okay, all right, bet. All right, cool. And you might say, well, hey, look, because that Anthony Shots profile caught a lot of heat, and maybe Richard Allen saw that and he got rid of the inappropriate material, right? But that doesn't make sense because he held on to the gun. You know what I mean? Like, and hey, look, I'm not saying the gun was used, but I do believe that he would have at some point recognized that he was missing a bullet. If he didn't recognize it at that moment, if he was really out there doing what they say that he was doing.
What if he was drunk?
If he was drunk, like I said, so that's a good question. At some point in 5 years, I think he would recognize that he was short one. I think that at some point
when he got home,
he would,
even in the morning,
he would have handled it. Even it could have been a year later, a month later. He'd been like, oh my God. And all you have to do is switch out one of many various parts that you can look on YouTube and learn how to do. So I'm just saying, that's just one there's a couple of problems. I think I named a couple there that I have. Thanks for listening.
No, you have a great point. And I'll address it and I'll let the rest of the group, only because it's right on the tip of my tongue. If we're going to go by, and this is what I asked Mao too, I said, if we're going to go by with what we know, I don't think that's enough, but what don't we know?
I really agree with you, Sterling. Absolutely 100%. Everything that you just said is my questions. And I hope that those would be answered. But I just feel a little bit concerned with what we're working with as a baseline.
I agree. But hey, if I may, Sleuth, let me just ask the panel, each one of you, if you were on the jury right now, and you were on the jury, and all, like, let's just say, and I know people will say, hey, look, there's more evidence coming out. They haven't told us everything. They're keeping it all hush hush. Sure. Okay, fine. But if it turns out that it's really just what's in the PCA, right? And you're on the jury, my question to you is, how do you vote? To each one of you, I want to know.
Not guilty.
Same, not guilty. Was it you, Meow, who said, sure, they found the bullet, but they weren't killed with the bullet?
It's not the murder weapon. It is just not the murder weapon, and it's unspent. And honestly, when I'm walking through there, it's like there are like so many shell casings all over the place.
Yeah.
But who else? Who else is voting guilty, not guilty? We got other people on Sleuth. And I'm sorry, I don't know the gentleman ahead of me, above me. I don't know his name.
That is Vertigo. Brain.
I want to know how y'all would vote.
All right. Vertigo, how would you vote? Honestly, I don't think I would have to ask. I would have to talk with the witnesses.
What would you need to talk to them about or ask them?
I would need to ask them if they believe it's Richard Allen.
What if they said to you they were showing a lineup and they failed to pick him out of the lineup?
Then yeah, I would struggle. I would need more.
So how would you vote?
I don't know. I might be hung.
Well, you can't vote hung.
I ask you?
It might cause a hung though.
But you would vote innocent. You would vote not guilty.
I don't know. Because I'm leaning towards guilty.
But
the question, did he kill them or was he BG?
Neither.
They would have to convince me of the science with the unspent casing.
Okay.
If they sell me on that, yeah, he's guilty. Am I going to sentence him to death over that? With that, absolutely not.
They also have to prove that BG's the killer if they're going to prove
that's what I'm saying.
BG.
And he could appeal it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might be that one guy in the jury room that might be enough for me.
Okay, and I guess there's one vote that I'm just curious to know. Vertigo, right? That's what you said? I guess he's not.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck he's gone. He's out. Probably drinking with the people.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, so let's come back to the bullet, if I may, because I'm very interested in that bullet, Sleuth. So like, all right, so, and I heard someone else, and I'm sorry, I don't know y'all's names, but like, even if you proved that Richard Allen was BG, which has not been proven to my knowledge yet, even if you proved that, and even if you proved that bullet came from his gun, which I'm not at all convinced of that either, then my question to you would be, when did that bullet get out there?
That I don't know.
But
I think about that all the time.
What's the time stamp on it? It could have been out there a year ago.
But it also could have been found right when they found the girls.
Duh. But I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to cast probable like that. I'm trying to cast some doubt.
Well,
that's
I'm
just
sure
one of those pieces.
Will ask that very question.
Yeah, to me, it's just one of those pieces of information that once it's verified, it's just like,
Okay, but how's it going to be verified, Sleuth?
They know.
Huh?
They know when they found it. There was a whole group of people looking at the crime scene. They know when they found that body.
No, but my question is, if you're
on the casing.
Yeah, but my question is, if you're on the jury, how do you know? How are they going to prove it to you?
Well, I mean, you definitely don't want to get caught up in that kind of information, right?
Yeah, if you're on the jury, you definitely do.
Like, you have to think of the implications of that statement.
What are you talking about?
You would have to prove a vast conspiracy.
It's your no, you don't have to prove it. They're supposed to prove to you Richard Allen's guilt. Don't make it more complicated than it is.
Yes, they have to prove to you that the
I'm not saying that they have to prove. All they need is a small,
you can't tell me.
You just need a small little dose of doubt. I know.
But you do need to show me that your subjective analysis by your just an expert analysis has to be proven across blinded.
But me as a jury, though, like if you're asking me personally, no, I'm going to take into consideration how I feel about McClellan, what I'm hearing. Like, it's going to be my personal choice what I do in there.
Based on your feelings?
But
maybe I might take a little bit from my feelings. I might, who knows what I'll do. But what it is each individual juror is going to be doing whatever they want to do.
I'm asking you, how are you? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could convict them.
But I'm asking you, how would you be convinced that that bullet came from Richard Allen's 6 hour? That's my question.
I would look at the group of professionals who all signed off on it, and I would ask them what they thought about it.
What you need to do is you need to show it across multiple different research laboratories with a double blinded, so they don't know which one's the bullet and which one isn't the bullet. They have to show random bullets that have gone through the same gun, random different guns, and that's what they have to demonstrate in different laboratories. That's why certain cases are thrown out based on ballistics. On the research I've done, sorry. But the research I've done showed that a lot of cases they weren't able to show that a blinded researcher who didn't know what was the evidence bullet wasn't able to discern whether that was the one in the crime versus a random other one. So what they would have to demonstrate is that like based on like just an objective researcher, that they would be able to identify that as coming from that gun.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's pretty solid, and sometimes it's not.
But
exactly. It's kind of waivers.
I'm asking, what would the ballistic expert have to show you and tell you and prove to you to make you convinced that that bullet really did come from Richard Allen's gun?
A statistic, like a stat, like a 99% probability.
It wouldn't be statistics. I would need like a whole, maybe a handful of, maybe even just maybe 2 or 3 unbiased professionals, and then I would listen to each one of their presentations. I'm sure they're going to use some type of microscopic imagery. They're going to explain other cases. Maybe they're going to bring up cases where it was successful. The defense will bring up cases where it failed. And then I'm just going to make a personal decision on it.
But like, what would be the most compelling piece of evidence? What could they do that would be like, you know what? Yep, he's right. It did.
Again, I'm totally opposite.
It would depend on the case.
They might have to show me. They might have to show me, like, they might need to like have something completely random that they didn't select, and then match it, and then somehow throw maybe something directly out of Richard Allen's just in there randomly, and maybe out of 100 different shells, or maybe even just 5 or 10. They would need to show me that they
or
can
show someone else's gun how it looks like through the gun.
And you know, those, okay, well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Sleuth, because you know that's different from feelings. You know what I mean? I thought you were talking about like, you know, basing off.
Oh no, my feelings are going to be in there somewhere.
Why?
And it's
I can't help that. I'm just a human.
No, you can't help it.
It's evidence.
Yeah, it's my subconscious. Who knows?
Yeah, but
maybe some repressed memory affects my judgment. Sorry, Michelle. Sorry about that. What were you saying?
How can we tell you that now, Sterling, without seeing what's put before us, right? We can't make a judgment on a hypothetical just yet.
I already said that we were basing this off of just what was in the PCA.
Right, I see. Apologies, but I can't.
Just off that, not guilty.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and Sleuth, you said you would use your feelings. You were leaning on your feelings. It wasn't like, hey, my feelings might get in the way of this. It was
I don't know. I reserve the right. You know,
it's like it's almost like it was like a tool as a pathway to like discerning what is true and what is not. But
no,
like,
it's not that. You just can't ignore it like it's not there.
Yeah, no, you need to ignore it if you're on that jury because your feelings don't matter.
Yeah, but you got to play devil's advocate, right? You don't know what these jurors are going to do, and I know you're asking me directly, but I don't know because it's a hypothetical.
Yeah, but it seemed to me like you were like almost like leaning on your feelings, like I'm going to use my feelings. You were proud of it. I'm like, no,
that's just, you just leaned on the feelings, like you're trying to call me out on it. And that's fine.
I asked you, how would you determine it? You said my feelings.
I just said it would play a part.
But should it?
Should it? No, I don't think it should. But I reserve the right to be like, hey, I'm going to be emotional about this. Oh, I think we lost Sterling. Sorry about that. Just hit that link again, Sterling, if you want to come back in.
But I don't. To his point, I don't think you can fully take emotion out of it. I don't think trials and court cases aim to take feelings and emotions out of it.
And I didn't really mean emotions. I meant more like personal opinions.
Yeah, and I don't think you can take the whole human experience out of it anyway. So
yeah, your own personal perspective on things, might play a part.
Yeah, totally.
Anyways, thanks for having me. I just wanted to check in. I had loved the conversation.
Thank you so much for calling in, Mal. Hey,
yeah, of course.
Can you drop some of the information that you're working on with Flora? And
yeah, sure, I will.
Please.
I'll drop some of it in the chat. Didn't mean to.
Can you just give us? Can you throw a little bit of that out there for us?
Yeah, of course. I'll just drop that in the chat.
Thank you so much.
And look forward to having you on, I think, Wednesday.
Yep, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Cool. See you then. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye. All right, guys. I don't know. I think we might have lost Vertigo. He'll come back if he's there. All right, Michelle, what's going on? You got the stage. It's all yours.
Well, I remembered a South African case that I learned about a long time ago. It was so horrific because of the guests that Vertigo had on. It was the Alison Botha case. She didn't die. She did not die, but her case is horrific. And it's an amazing survival story. I can read a small paragraph to you about her story if you like, but it's very graphic if you like. And
well, when you say when you say graphic, like how graphic?
It talks about her physical injuries.
Okay.
So it's gruesome. It's not
how gruesome. How detailed are we talking here? Just so I don't get flagged.
Oh, okay. Well, it talks about a head injury and how her head falls because it's nearly chopped, and her abdomen coming open.
How did that happen?
She was attacked by some rapists, thieves in South Africa. They carjacked her, basically.
They attacked her with knives?
Uh-huh.
That's awful.
But it doesn't go into that.
Where did this happen?
In South Africa. Let me go back to the top of the article to refresh my memory.
Yeah, I might be able to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, so her name is Alison Botha, Botha, and it was December 18, 1994. Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Is that it?
That's the lady, yeah. I mean,
here's a report out of South Africa Broadcast Center, I think.
Cool, yeah. So I don't know.
Sorry.
And it's
I was jamming out.
90,000 copies sold, but that means more than 90,000 people have read it. Tell us about your journey writing it.
Well, she's talking about her book. You want to tell us what happened with it?
Her case? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So she'd been out. I mean, I can just link the article to you in the chat if you want. I've got an article here.
Sure. Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. So she's she's got a pretty intense survivor story, apparently.
Hell yeah, it totally is. So do I just send this via the private chat?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So it's one of those magazine type internet stories with fucking shit tons of pictures through it. So it's really annoying to have to scroll down, but it's a very good summary in simple language. So I recommend.
All right, let's take a look here. It looks like it's titled, "Do You Think She's Dead? Inside the Incredible Survival Story of Alison Botha." It's by Danielle Tinning, edited by John Karofsky, published May 6, 2021. On December 18th, 1994, Alison Botha was abducted near her home in South Africa. By the end of the night, she had been assaulted, stabbed, and disemboweled, but she was still alive. After an ordinary night out with her friends, Alison Botha drove back to her apartment in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, but as soon as the 27-year-old parked her car, a man with a knife forced his way inside. The attacker ordered Botha to move to a different seat, trapping her inside her own vehicle. That's just like the case that Tim was telling us about, Shelley Werner.
Yeah.
They like forced her in her own vehicle. The attacker ordered... Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm paranoid about that. Like my partner and my kid, they always tease me because when we're in our car, I'm like, lock the car, lock all the doors. And they laugh at me and I'm like, no. Because we've even had news stories about people getting carjacked. And I'm sure heaps of the audience now has had that happen or seen it happen. So fuck that shit, man. Check your back seat and lock your doors when you're in the car. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Please go on.
Oh, no worries. Here's an image. Let me pull this one up. She seems a little bit younger here.
Yeah.
And here's that article.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's good.
ATI.com, I think. All that's interesting.com.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull this back up and I'll continue on and then we'll stop again. Both his captors later identified as Franz Du Toit and Thuans Kruger. Did I say that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, took her to a deserted area on the outskirts of town. There, they brutally attacked her, disemboweled her, and slashed her throat so deeply that she was nearly decapitated. Like, how do you survive that? Finally, they left her for dead in a clearing, but Botha was still breathing. And this is in quotes. I realized my life was too valuable to let go of, she later said, and that gave me the courage to survive. Dang.
You know, I just found this article doing a quick Google search. When those fellows came on with Vertigo, it reminded me of this case because ages ago I watched a documentary and, you know, I'm a hard-assed fucking true crime bitch who's been reading this shit since I was a kid, right? I thought nothing can cut me, but I actually cried during the documentary listening to her recount her story. And you get to the point in this article where she's talking about dragging herself out to the road, and for fuck's sake, it's heartbreaking, but also truly inspiring. Mad shit, man.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at it. Sounds inspiring, actually.
Really
I just don't
is.
understand how you survive those kind of wounds. You seem like you would lose too much blood. Like, how is that possible? It's like a miracle.
It gets a bit graphic further down, but she explains it, what she had to do to her body to get help. And the miracle, like a fucking, do you want me to tell you what happened?
Sure, as long as you don't get too crazy.
No. I won't tell you what she had to do to hold her body together to get to the road, but when she got there,
no, let's hear that part. That's the part I want to hear. Like, how does she do that?
Right.
That's like pure survival.
All right, well, just hang on 1 second and I'll tell you. My God, it's just so awful. So this is after she's been attacked and left for dead.
Is this the scumbags right
here? Yeah, I think so. Look. When Alison Botha moved towards the headlights, she realized the full extent of her injuries. As she pulled herself up, her head started to fall backwards, since she had nearly been decapitated. Meanwhile, she could also feel something slimy protruding from her abdomen, her intestines. She had to use one hand to keep her organs from spilling out, and the other hand to literally hold on to her own head. Botha recalled, as I struggled forward, my sight faded in and out. and I fell many times, but managed to get up again until I finally reached the road. That fucking, like, I actually have goosebumps now. And when I first read that or heard her telling that story in her own words in the documentary, I fucking was like, what the fuck?
She refused, huh? She's like, I refuse to die today.
She's like, yeah, not today, Satan.
And anybody else would have just been like, up, that's it. And they would have kind of laid back, started, praying, oh, okay, this is it.
Yeah. It then says, there she collapsed along the white line. Even in her disoriented state, she knew that this was the best position to attract the attention of a motorist. Fortunately, both didn't have to wait for long. A young veterinary student named Tian Eilerd, who was visiting Port Elizabeth on vacation from Johannesburg, saw both lying in the middle of the road and stopped. And then he says God put him on the road that night, which I'm an atheist, so to each their own. But for fuck's sake, he was a vet student on vacation, so he had some medical knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Then it says his training helped. And this is a really terrible part, but he had to tuck her thyroid back into her body and patch her up a little bit, and then, from there
he must have been applying pressure somehow, like any way he could have, huh?
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know.
That's
Lucky he was
crazy.
a vet, but if I saw that, I don't know that I would have been capable of helping the woman. I would have fucking been a blithering fucking wreck.
Well, one of my favorite true crime series to watch is The First 48.
Yeah, I love that.
And all too often do they come to the crime scene and there's just all these like bloody towels everywhere, right? And it's untrained people just doing their best to try to save these people, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like why don't people learn how to like do like a tourniquet? Like all that basic stuff doesn't really get taught in basic education, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's it's really important to be able to do, but you don't know how you're going to react. The shock could just knock that knowledge right out of you anyway, even if you had it. I don't know.
Instincts, maybe?
Yeah. So, that's what the South African people reminded me of, that case. So,
that's intense.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's intense. I can't remember the name of the documentary. I know other creators have covered it, but it's very interesting. And you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
That little girl, I believe it was either in the USA, possibly Canada, where she survived after having her arms and her legs chopped off by that fucking guy.
What?
Do you remember that case? She was a young teenager. Oh,
that's brutal.
In the 80s or the 70s.
What's up, Anthony? Yeah, we got probably about another 10 minutes. So one good story would be good to end with, Michelle, if you got one.
Well, yeah, Mary Vincent is her name. And
Mary Vincent.
It's from 1978. She was hitchhiking, and a dude called Lawrence Singleton tried to kill her, but he fucking tortured her, and she fought for her life. Did he cut off her legs as well? I can't remember. Maybe he cut off both her arms.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Yeah.
What was
his
reasoning?
Sick psychopath son of a bitch, man. I don't know why. He's just an asshole.
That's like some Texas chainsaw stuff.
Yeah. But she was just like,
what's she doing now? She got like some prosthetics or what? What's going on? What's her current situation?
I don't actually know if she's even alive. Yeah, I would wonder.
What's her name?
Mary Vincent. So she danced competitively and she was a performer. And in 1978, she was 15 years old. She was, you know, dealing with fallout from her parents' divorce. She wanted to go to her grandfather's house instead of her parents' house. And so she tried to go hitchhike, right?
Oh, there she is. I think this is her today.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
she's throwing a baseball. You see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So she's pretty inspiring, man. Like,
that's
he
crazy.
attacked her. Yeah. With a fucking hatchet. A hatchet on the side of the road, man.
So it wasn't even like clean, like attacks, you know, it wasn't even clean. He probably had to like hack at it.
Yeah.
That's awful. She made it. You know, she survived. Hey, Anthony, we got about 10 minutes. Welcome, though. You want to close this out?
Yeah, man. I just want to let you know I met Rick Snay the other night. First time.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird at first. The guy I had with me. We ran into him at the bar he works at. But yeah, the guy I had with me, man, just like he didn't know like how much I'm involved in all this shit. And he immediately says, "Oh man, Ron Logan, man, yeah, he's definitely the guy." And I was like, "Oh my God."
Who said that?
My Rick? Buddy, that I took in there with me
was saying that.
Yeah, like he spatted it off like right off the bat. And I'm just like, oh my God. When
they agreed, like right out, he's like, see?
Oh yeah, and Rick immediately like took to him and was like,
"You're my new friend."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, man, I really like your theories and all this." And I'm like, "Man." And when he walked away, I told my buddy, I said, "Dude, that was like the worst thing you could have ever said."
That's funny.
But yeah,
that's crazy, man.
It was cool to meet him, though. You know, he was cordial. I was cordial. He knew who I was.
That's interesting. That's an interesting story. What'd you guys talk about? Did he say anything to you about anything?
Yeah, we talked about it just a little bit, and he brought up the Holly thing. Of course, he went straight there.
Oh, yeah. He's all upset with her, huh? He seems to be after Ruckus a little bit, too.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ruckus thing or whatever, but yeah, he was he definitely brought up the Holly thing and was telling me he's doing a live or something about her. And I said, "Man, you guys just need to put that to bed." I just don't see what benefit, just my own personal opinion, going back and forth with content creators. I mean, it's not going to help the case any, I don't think.
No, I don't think it is at all.
But yeah, man, I really wanted to I hesitated on even bringing it up about meeting Rick, but yeah.
I mean, he doesn't keep it a secret that he's out and about, you know?
No, and he tells everybody where he works at and whatnot. And, yeah, and like I said, it's a place, man, that I go into maybe once every 2 or 3 months. And I just happened to go in there that night. And as soon as I walked in the door, man, he was right there at the door with a wand, patting me down, making sure I had no guns on me and shit. And I said, "Rick Snay?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Anthony France." And we shook hands. And I mean, it was cool, man, meeting him and stuff. But he was a little bit different than I thought he would be, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. What was your first impression?
You want me to be honest?
Don't go being too honest.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing bad about the guy, but I'm just saying like he was a little indifferent. Like his whole demeanor was a little indifferent than what I thought it would be. Yeah, a little strange, I guess I could say. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, I guess we're all a little strange.
Yeah, and I am as well. I mean, I'm sure people probably look at me on the outside and think I'm strange because I'm so involved in, you know, the case and doing, you know, what I do. And I just can't help it, man. I try to get away from it sometimes and take a break, but man, seems like I always just come back to it. I can't get away from it.
It's perplexing. I just want to give a quick shout out to Cindy Lean. She says, thank you for sharing a couple survivor stories. No, that comes from Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. You always come on here and you got all these great true crime stories that you're bringing up for us. So we appreciate that.
No worries. I like coming on, and I'm very into the true crime world. I always have that tension of, is this a healthy thing or an unhealthy thing? But, for many reasons, people want to be into true crime. I like to know because it makes me feel like I'm on top of the safety thing. You're on it, you know all the different ways that, yeah, awareness and prevention.
I know you're trying to shut this show down, man, but can I bring up one thing?
Sure. Let's hear it. We'll close out on that. Thank you, Michelle.
When she did that I think his name's Max Snowberger. That's his name. The young kid.
Libby's friend? Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was Libby's best friend, like in school. Like they were real tight. Man, he's the one that, like, he said, I mean, I watched both interviews that he did with Julie Melvin and then the Hannah lady.
They were both really good.
Yeah, but he said the first interview that he did with Julie Melvin, he told him that, and I guess she pulled up his phone and saw it on there. Like, so she saw exactly when the Snapchat messages were sent or whatever, but that was on December 26th is what she's claiming, and him, when all this started. So there was plenty of time, man, for them to like groom these girls up to get them to believe whatever scenario they're trying to, portray or whatnot.
Well, yeah, they're young kids. They're going to believe pretty much anything you tell them. That's
but he did say that she had somebody on there harassing her that was kind of, he didn't say creeping her out, but that was kind of making her, uncomfortable or whatever. Man, I just want to know, like, how can they not find out who that was?
They probably knew. Ruckus, when I talked with him about it, he seems to think that they knew right away. Like they knew, like this stuff was just kind of, maybe a lot of this information they were just kind of keeping real low because they may have thought they had a trail, they're getting ready to bust this guy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But yeah, I just think I found a lot of, it was just intriguing to me, man, just to hear it from that kid's own words that, that this shit was going on. And yeah, I know Ruckus said he thought, they knew from day one. But
because you think that Max would have said something to him right there. And also they had access to all of the devices. So I'm sure they got that, jumped on top of that right away.
Yeah. And he kind of seemed like he was a little reluctant to like, he seemed like he didn't really want to talk about it. Like he was doing it more as like something that he felt like he should do, but it felt like he was holding some stuff back. That's how I took it from both interviews that I saw him do. Like he wasn't really being as forthcoming as he probably telling everything that he knew. Maybe he was holding some things back. Cause I mean, it's a small town, he probably don't want to put himself in danger.
What's up, Cody? Hey, Mandy. Good to see you. Shay, Lisa, Digital. Well, I want to thank you guys for calling in. We're going to close her down. I appreciate it, Anthony and Michelle for helping me out and reading some of those articles and things and willing to share that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you letting me come in.
Yep, we'll do this again. Maybe we'll do this every Friday or whenever we get a chance. I meant to do it Friday, but I was kind of bumped. I had to bump it, but we'll try to keep it on. We'll try to keep it on Fridays.
Okay, one more thing, man.
Sure.
One of the
Later, Michelle.
I worked in bars, man, for like 15 years, and one of the bars that I used to work at for like 7 years, one of the regulars that came in there, I just found out tonight that she was raised and grew up in Delphi. So I'm trying to get a hold of this lady and do like a little interview with her and just try to suck all the information, dude, that I can get out of her. I mean, it might take me a few days to get it set up, but I'm pretty sure she'd be willing to do it because from what I've heard, she's really heartbroken over all this because she grew up in that town. And she lives in Indianapolis now. But yeah, man, like I said, if I can get some of that information or whatever, I'll definitely pass it on to you, whatever I can get.
Well, if it's like legit information, make sure you send it to the proper location.
Well, I mean, if it's something like to that extent, I would.
But if it's just like something we can discuss, for sure, I'm all about that.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
All right, thanks for calling in, man. Have a great night.
Take care. You too.
Well, another successful true crime call, and what do you guys think? We'll hang out another 5 minutes. Unwind in the chat. Shout out to Sterling. Not sure we lost him. Thanks for calling in. Shout out to Michelle, Vertigo Brain, and his homie, Jason. Appreciate it. And Anthony France. Thank you so much. Hey, Beach Fairy. Thanks for the super chat, Cindy. Good to see you, Bossy. Jari Digital, what's up? You guys could hit that thumbs up on the way out.
I don't want to make a difference anymore. Just give me the easy option. Let me step back in line and feed me my opinions and assumptions. Tell me what to think, what to love, give me someone to hate. Give me
Good morning.
war on TV and turn the news into entertaining sound bites, easy on the ears and snapping. Chemically happy, as long as I can't see it. It isn't really happening. As long as I can't see it and you tell me it's not my problem, I'll ignore them. Get outraged from a distance when instructed, but do nothing. Just keep walking, just keep working. Take my life force, feed production. And the ending of it all, you'll have something, I'll have nothing. Just give me the good life and tell me it's all alright. I don't want to know anymore. Keep me blinded, take my rights, hold me down, restrict my thoughts and control my movements. I like to be watched, it makes me feel a safe little consumer. Deprive my senses, a thin line between life and existence. I want to be average, no longer class, a liberal misfit. Just give me the one world government, which makes war upon the different. Just give me the class-based society where I know I'm insignificant, and I know that I can't fight it, and I know that it's decided, all above my head by those who keep on taking what I've provided. A simple life, so please just plug me into entertainment. Save me from a life of responsibility, give me containment. Keep me constricted, physically and mentally restricted. Leave me fear of open spaces, leave me blind to all your cages. I don't trust you, I don't believe you're right, but I don't care. I don't trust you, I don't know you, but I know that fighting is despair. I don't trust you.